Namaste. Welcome to everyone's favorite genre, yoga while you cook. If you're spending at least some time in the kitchen, there is no reason not to use that time to incorporate some yoga poses into your cooking routine. So let's get right into it. Find a kitchen counter, grab it behind yourself with your hands, and start swaying, pulling yourself close to the counter and swinging your body forward so that you can sort of hang on your arms from the counter. That's a nice basic stretch for your shoulders. Try to give it at least 5 or 10. It's a very soothing motion. So if you're overwhelmed with your kids' requests for a particular food, no reason not to calm yourself down like that. Gonna stop swaying. Gonna turn toward the counter. And kitchen counters are great for working your shoulders. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put both of my palms on the counter, start walking my feet back so that I can arrange my body in the following way. My arms straight, my legs and my body as close to the 90-degree angle as possible. And I'm gonna breathe in here. You can grab the counter or you can let your palms lie flat. Grabbing is probably a safer option. Try to take at least 5 breaths here. And then come up, sway your body forward. Spread your elbows apart so that you can come to the semi-push-up position. And hang around here as well for several breaths. Feel your breath naturally becoming ocean breath with a whooshing sound coming out of your throat. I'm gonna come up being supported with my hands on the counter here. Take a giant step forward with one foot. Get into the lunge and stay in the lunge, still holding onto the counter. And take some breaths here as well. And come up. Step back. Do it on the other side. Take a giant step forward with my other foot. Get down into the lunge, supporting myself with my hands on the counter again, keeping my elbows slightly apart. Feel that back leg stretching. Try to stay for at least 5 breaths. Come back up. Step back. Find a good comfortable position for your feet. And we're gonna go into the supported squat. Our objective here is to keep our arms straight and the soles of our feet fully on the floor. Five breaths in here. Come up. Step toward the counter with one foot. Grab it. And start pushing up off of the counter. That's a nice stretch for almost your whole body. Try to do at least 5 and do more if it feels good. I'm going to step back, do it on the other side. Step one of my feet close to the counter and start doing the push-ups. Getting my face and chest close to my hands. Opening my shoulders. And also stretching both of my legs, as you can probably notice. You're doing this with me. One more. I'm gonna step back and go back into the shoulder stretch. Just lean forward. Try to keep my body parallel to the ground. Take a couple of breaths here. Then I'm gonna lift one of my hands off the counter and open up, twisting my torso so that one of my arms points straight toward the ceiling. I will look at my fingers for 5 breaths. Close. Grab the counter with that hand. Lift the opposite hand, twist the other way. And still keep breathing here, looking at my fingers. And close. And I'm going to sway my body back. Come upright. And from here, if you're feeling adventurous or more into gymnastics today, you can put one of the feet on the counter and just lean toward that foot, grabbing either your toes or your ankles to give that leg a nice stretch. Plus balancing in this pose as well for 5 breaths. Come up, do it on the other side. Just spend enough time settling into this position, finding a stable position for the supporting foot. And stretch. And look down and relax your shoulders for 5 breaths. Come up. And if you want to continue with the gymnastics, what we're going to do, we're going to put one of our feet on the counter and turn our body to the center so that the leg points sideways. Again, find a good position for your foot here that's supporting you. And then we're going to squat. You can put your hands into Namaste if that feels good, or you can just put them where they do not interfere with your motion. You can turn this into a dynamic exercise, just sitting down, coming back up, but you don't have to. You can just hold this pose. For 5 breaths. Come up. Do it on the other side. Again, with kitchen counters, the prep work is essential. You want to find a stable position for both the foot that's up and the foot that remains on the ground. Turn your body toward the center. And in Namaste or wherever they don't interfere with your movement. And sit down, come back up. Do it dynamically. Or do it statically, just sit down. Bend your knee. And stay there for 5 breaths. Come up. And we're going to put one of our feet back onto the counter and start turning our body so that our foot is behind us And from here, we're gonna go into a bend. Put our palms on the ground. Try to keep the supporting leg straight. And stay here for 5 breaths as well. Come back up very slowly, very gently, so that we don't lose our balance. Do it on the other side. Foot on the counter. Turn your body. Make that foot straight. Don't hesitate to shuffle and shift so that you can get into the pose. And then once you're ready, get your hands on the ground, go into a bend, and stay for 5 breaths. And then we can come up. Take a breath in here. And from here, we're going to turn so that our body is sideways to the counter. Take a giant step to the side. Grab the counter with one hand. And from here, we're going to do a side lunge to the opposite side, not on the side of the hand that grabs the counter right now. And from the lunge, we're going to bend, put our palm on the ground, and just hang over the floor in this position, supporting ourselves with one hand on the counter, another hand on the ground for 5 breaths. Come back up. Either turn around, or if you have an opposite counter, like I do, you're just going to do it on the other side. Giant step. Lunge into the opposite direction. And we're going to lean down. Both of our arms straight. Doing the side lunge with the bend for 5 breaths. Before coming back up, taking a breath in here. Checking the food on the stove. Should be ready by now. And you have incorporated a nice workout into your cooking. So I'm going to thank you for that. Thank you for doing the practice with me. Namaste.